Hi, welcome to Child Development 155. This is a welcome video where I will go over the structure, policies, syllabus, and some of the assignments for Child Development 155. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to share the screen with our class as it is on Canvas. I think this kind of helps. We've been online for 2 years kind of now, but everybody kind of approaches Canvas a little bit differently. So I just wanted to go over kind of how I use Canvas and how I've kind of structured the class. I keep it the same every single week with the hopes that once you kind of get through the first 2 or 3 weeks, you feel pretty good about what is kind of going on with Canvas. So if you've made it this far, you're in our welcome. Start here. This page will always be here for your own purposes. So it's going to have the syllabus and this video. So if you ever kind of forget what is going on with the class, or you just want to recheck one of my policies, you can always rewatch this video. And you can also see the syllabus at each time. Also on our welcome page, I have some nice links for navigating Canvas. If it's your first time or you're just not feeling so sure about Canvas still. And then also I've got my communication plan. And my communication plan is that I am available Monday through Friday during normal business hours. The best way to get a hold of me is either you can see on the left-hand side of the screen my message over the inbox. So if you just click on the inbox, you can shoot me a message. That message goes straight to my Palomar faculty email. I will see it and then I will respond to you that way. You can also email me. I've got my email up there. It's kind of a very long email. So most people usually just use this inbox function because then you don't have to type my email in and you're already on Canvas. So it's much, much better. Like I said, it just gets straight to my faculty inbox and so feel free to email me whenever. I know that many of us work and have families. I am a working myself. So I understand that we have commitments outside of school in this class and campus and things like that. So if you're emailing me at midnight, feel free. Just know that I'm not going to see it until the next business day. So if you are emailing me at Saturday night at midnight, I'm not going to see it until Monday morning when I get back to my desk. I'm also, I check it quite a few times a day, probably 2 or 3. I will be back in the classroom this year. This semester, I have not set foot on campus since Thursday, March 12th, 2020. But I am going to be teaching one class online at the Escondido campus, and I also teach 3 classes at Cal State in person as well. So during those 3 to 6 hours when I am lecturing, because 2 of my classes are back to back, I won't be available and I won't be obviously checking emails. It's going to be a little bit unusual because in the past, for all these 4 semesters, I have been online completely. I might have been synchronous a little bit, but for the most part, I was asynchronous online, so I had all this time to answer your emails. There are going to be chunks of time when I'm not available during a business day because I'm teaching, but I will always check my emails every single day, probably at the beginning and in the middle of a business day as well. So the best way to get to me is just to shoot me a message here, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. After that, I have some college and class resources. So this is our student support services, which is fantastic. So I have just linked every single student support service that I could think of, from disability to where food is to all that kind of important things that you might need to access. The great thing about library, disability, all of those things is that they're still primarily online, or they have online functions, including Canvas. So that's great, even though we're kind of going back into person after February 22nd of this semester. At the same time, we are keeping things that don't necessarily have to be face-to-face offline and on Zoom. So it's fantastic if you need to talk to academic counselor, you need to see a mental health therapist, or you need to talk to disability services a lot in the library. All of those are still online. So I've got all of them linked, and then some of them are even linked right here on this left side. We've got online tutoring, disability support, financial aid. So you could just click those and talk to chat with a campus representative, a bot usually, and then a campus representative. I also have our child development success guide. This has got our APA. This has got information on the lab school, which is tentatively open. Then I've got some information on, are you ready to be an online student? So just talking about technology and monitoring your own time, managing your own time. They've got some more information on this computer and then software for this course. Because you're a Palomar student, you now automatically get free Microsoft. So this will take you to that page where you can get like free Word, free Excel, free Adobe, I think, as well. So take part in that. I mean, you guys are paying a lot per unit. So please take advantage of the software that we have. I also go to YouTube. You don't need a YouTube login or anything, but a lot of my videos are on YouTube. So I just kind of introduced you to YouTube. I'm sure. We are going to have a group project. We're not going to even talk about that or touch that until the second week of class. The first week, people are dropping, people are adding. When I used to put people in groups that week, it would all fall apart. But the third week, because things are shuffling around, so I want to give us a few, like 7 to 10 days to kind of get used to this semester, figure out the class, and then I will sort you into online groups, and you guys will do an online presentation. You're not meeting at all outside of this class. Everything will be done online and on Zoom, so that you are continuing to keep yourself safe, and you don't have any reason to come onto campus and meet at Starbucks or anything like that. So it's an entirely online group project. I made some changes this semester, which I'm a little bit excited about. I've kind of changed the topics. I felt like the topics were a little bit, just typical. So I tried to kind of make them a little bit fun. So you guys are going to present on team building, you're going to present on marketing, you're going to present on things that I think will be a little bit more engaging, interactive, and fun for you guys, and what you guys might excel at as well as professionals right now. But we're not going to touch that until next week. I have a welcome video for that in the second week and after as well. So then I'm going to get into the weeks. So each week is the same format. So each week you'll have some kind of assignment. And then you might have a discussion board as well. So the discussion board might be with the entire class, or it might just be with your group. So sometimes I'll put a discussion board in your group and be like, how's it going? Or what are you guys feeling about this topic? Or how can I help you? Or these are the next steps I expect you to take, something like that. So for this week, for this very first week of Canvas, you're just introducing yourself. It's actually not worth any points, but just come on, post a picture and tell us about yourself. This is a great opportunity to get used to Canvas discussion boards and posting pictures and replying and things like that. I do have links in there. So if you've never posted a picture, if you've never replied to a discussion, anything like that, I've got some great links for you to show you how. I started teaching on Canvas in 2017, and it was a little scary at first. So I totally remember being there. I'm not an expert by any means, but I've picked up a few things. I try to pass them on to my students because I remember how kind of overwhelming it can be. This week's first assignment is worth 10 points, and it's due a week after. So for every single weekly assignment that I'm going to give you guys, and there will be 10 of them, so the first 10 weeks, every week you'll have a 10-point assignment. What you're going to do is you are going to just write about your own kind of leadership. What kind of leader do you think you are? What kind of leader do you want to become? So we're just kind of thinking macro. We're thinking big for the first week of class. Who are you, and where do you kind of want to go? Where do you see yourself, in the next couple of years working within early childhood education? Do you want to be more of an advocate for children and families? Do you want to be more of an advocate for your staff? Or for me, I'm kind of feeling like, a lot of us have been put through the ringer in childcare, especially during this pandemic. And I've had conversations with people about kind of advocating more for the needs of the staff that have been really busting their butts all pandemic to keep their centers open and to keep their classrooms open and to keep kids safe. So that's kind of where I kind of see some of my interest going in the next couple of years, is our workforce, and the people who kind of keep childcare and keep working families going. But what's yours? Is yours, the particular families? Is it special education? Is it in-home, like family childcare? What is your kind of passion, and where do you kind of see yourself? So that's just this week. So please just let me know who you are. It's an entirely online class. I'd like to see a picture of you or your dog or your family or your favorite beach or a really nice sunrise you saw the other day. And I'd like to hear a little bit about you, so we kind of have a connection with that online. And then you have to just do a personal leadership. After that, the weeks will look exactly the same. I will have a video. So next week will be theory. You'll have another written assignment. The due date on this is wrong. You have a week. So every weekly assignment, you have exactly a week. I open it on Monday, and then I close it the following Monday. So you have exactly 1 week in order to do the assignment. And then I'll have some kind of reading. So this is a zero textbook class, which means you do not have to go out and rent or buy a textbook for this class. I will give you the readings. They will either be online or PDFs that I have that I am sharing with you guys. So each week will look exactly the same. So week 3, we'll have some information about reflective supervision. We'll have a policy that you're going to write. You'll meet with your group projects and chat a little bit in the discussion board. And then you will have a PDF that you're going to read about. So every single week will look more or less the same. There'll always be a video lecture first. There'll be some kind of assignment, something to read. There's not a discussion board. I'll let you guys know. Maybe I just want you to work on the weekly assignment. But that is basically it. Each kind of week looks exactly the same. There's a video, there's an assignment, there's a reading, and there might be a discussion board, either with the whole class or with your smaller group that you're going to be presenting on. So once again, next week, I'll sort you into groups. I'll video just like this on kind of what I'm expecting for each group. And sometimes you might meet with that group in a discussion board instead of with the whole class. Discussion boards are not graded. I don't put any points associated with them. I kind of feel like this is a upper division class. This is all about administration and management. Many of you are already working in admin, or you are wanting to make that jump into assistant director, enrollment coordinator, program supervisor, or something like that. So I kind of feel like our discussion boards are kind of an interesting place where we can kind of almost network with each other. So it's not something where I are going to make you post or I'm going to make you reply. I'm hoping that they are places where you can meet each other in the whole class, get to know each other, and reflect on a topic that's really going to be important for supervision, management, administration, and the things that are kind of the underpinning of our childcare system. So I'm hoping you'll enjoy them. If I don't have anything interesting to post about, I won't put a discussion board. And then, like I said, sometimes it'll be with your group project. So it'll just be with your smaller group talking about, hey, this is what we're going to cover. I might put some ideas out there and I'll check them throughout the week just to make sure that you guys are still kind of communicating and collaborating as well. So each week kind of looks the same. I've made a very consistent effort to do this. But each week when you come on, you're like, okay, there's my video lecture. Even though it's week 4, it's going to look just like 3 and 2. There's my video lecture. There's the assignment that I'm doing. Oh, and there are my readings as well. And feel free to download these readings as well and keep them if they are important to you or helpful for you. If they're not, so you don't have to just read them. We might source back to them later on, but feel free to also download them and put them in a director's file or just online in a space that you can always return to as well. Like this one about communication between staff. I really like that one about kind of official avenues between staff while they're at work and ways that you can kind of increase communication as well. So that is kind of our class format. So each week for 10 weeks, you're going to have an online written assignment. So that is the biggest kind of underpinning of the class. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and share with the syllabus, and I want to talk to you about some of the other points and policies for the class. The biggest one is kind of that group project, and the biggest one is also the group project and those weekly assignments. So that is actually, get to it, that's 200 points for this class. So in the group project, which I'm going to talk about next week, so don't worry about it this first week of class, the second week, I'm going to give you a video and give you written instructions. But basically, I've given you a topic that I hope is fun, engaging, inspiring, like team building, or the other one is marketing and like working with your community, or social media and technology and things like that. So you are going to actually give them kind of a operational file or just a kind of resources for your topic. So in the group project, you're going to present, you're going to give us a little presentation at the very, very end in May. So don't worry about that. And then you are also going to give us at least 5 pages on the topic. So like resources websites that are interesting, what your topic is all about. Like, why would you market? Why is it important to tell people about your center or not? Why might you want to consider being online, at least having a Facebook page? What is the role of social media in childcare? Something we should embrace or not? There's lots of things that you can kind of talk about. And then at the very end, you're going to send me at least 5 pages on your topic, and I'm going to give it to everybody else in the class. So the idea is that we're crowdsourcing on these topics. So you are going to be like the subject matter expert in like marketing and bring up some good ideas about that. And I'll be there every step of the way to help you guys, of course. And then you are going to kind of present as like the subject matter experts on marketing and childcare. And then you're going to give me 5 to 10 pages on that topic. But it's going to be very like a handout or a file or something that I could give to the other classes. Not a paper. It's like, hey, this is what marketing is. This is social media that we found is really helpful. This is some references, some pages, websites and pages you can go to. These are great readings on it. So it's supposed to be really informational and helpful for your other students because they're going to be doing team building. So they're going to tell you all about team building, and then they'll have 5 pages on team building that will help you as a professional in the field right now. Even if you're a teacher, even if you're just wanting to jump into the field, you should still be able to use this as a kind of crowdsourced reference to kind of support you. So that is the biggest thing, is the group project. And then, like I said, each week for 10 weeks, you'll have online assignments. So written assignments, so that's 100 points. So that's 200 points right there. At the very, very, very end, we will have a final written exam. It'll be 5 essay questions. I will give you 10 the week before, and then I will choose 5 of those. So you'll have an entire week to prep, and then you'll have 3 days in order to take the final as well. So nobody freak out about it. I will prepare you heavily the week before. You'll actually see every single question on the final, and then you will have time to prepare your answers. And then I will just pick 5 of them, and that will be your final. Nobody stress about that. We'll also have 1 quiz on fiscal management. And this is, I'm going to give you a PDF. And you are going to answer. I'm going to give you a video, and you are going to watch it, and you are going to answer questions straight from the video. So I have some guy talking about fiscal management and how important it is, and then you are going to answer 10 questions about fiscal management that are all the answers are straight in that video. So you can watch that video on YouTube. You can watch it 90 million times. I did when I was creating the quiz. So you will watch it as many times as you need while you are taking the quiz, and you'll be answering those questions. So nobody get upset about quiz and final exam. I know sometimes when you say those words, people get a little bit anxious. I'm one of those people too. There's no time limit ever on anything. You just have to complete it by the next week or within 3 to 4 days. So there's no time limit. There's no proctorio. There's nothing like that. And the questions are either embedded in the video quiz for fiscal management, or for the final exam, I've given you the essay questions. So you've had time to prepare, to look through books, to look up answers online, to source things to help you be able to answer these questions. So it's not designed to be tricky. There's no multiple choice. There's no true or false. It's all about what you kind of think about the topic and then how you can kind of defend it from online or from books or textbooks in the library as well. So that's it. So each week, log on, you'll have some kind of written assignment. Halfway through, you'll have a very short and easy video quiz on finance management. At the very end, you will have a final exam, which is essay questions that I will give you beforehand to prep. And then at the very end as well, I think it's due May 5th, something around there. So the first week of May, you'll have a group project where you will present with your group on Zoom. So you'll just record yourself on Zoom, exactly like I'm doing it now. And then you'll also kind of group together, make a 5-page resource for the other students in your class. So that is the class. Really, I've tried to keep it easy peasy because we are online. The rest of my syllabus, though, My name is Jolie Van Squick. I've always gone by that. For some reason, Palomar has decided that I have to go by my birth certificate name, which is Jolie CrossFit Van Squick. I actually have two middle names too. Thank God they didn't have me use both my middle names. Actually, in my official paperwork, it's my entire very long 5-word name. You can just call me Jolie, and then that'll be fine. Or if that's uncomfortable for you, you could just call me Professor. Here is my email. Once again, it's much easier to just, for students, to just click the inbox that's on the left-hand tab on Canvas that I showed you earlier. We're gonna have office hours as of this week. I'm recording this right before classes starts. I think they're going to be Wednesday mornings, and I will put the Zoom links in an announcement every time I have them. So we'll typically have them twice a month, most likely on Wednesday mornings. If that doesn't work for you, you can just email me and say, hey, I'd love to meet by Zoom. Could we meet and just give me a day and a time night, or even on the weekends, just give me times that work for you. And as long as I'm not in a meeting or teaching or anything like that, we can feel free to meet on Zoom as well. My Zoom office hours are private. So you get on when I put a Zoom link for like an office hours, you click on that, and then you go to a waiting room. So if I'm with a student before you, I will finish up with that student, and I will click to the next, and then I will get to you. They're not usually that busy. Sometimes I have a waiting room of like 2 people, and then I'll get to you when I have the chance, and then I'll click on your name, and you will be in a private Zoom with me. So it's open, but not. So you just have to wait in the waiting room until I can get to you, and then I can meet with you one-on-one in order to kind of chat about whatever you need to chat about. I'm teaching 2 other classes here at Palomar, and I'm teaching 3 other classes at Cal State. So in your email, please put Child Development 155 in the subject heading, just so I know what class we're kind of chatting about. I can usually tell by the questions you're asking, but especially before the first couple weeks, I don't know your names. So you telling me what class you're in is going to save me a lot of time and headache, and will get me to have a better answer for you faster. Just let me know what class you're in. Otherwise, I might think you're in my 100, and that's a very different kind of subject matter. Child Development 100, just the beginning, the basics, everything, and then Child Development 155, where you guys like know theory like the back of your hand, and you've been probably working in the field for a while. We are going to talk about staff and teams and leading. So this is a pretty fun class. 150 and 155 are kind of sister classes, brother classes, family classes, whatever you want to talk about that way. So that's something that you would need to meet your Title 22 licensing regulations would be 150, which we offer in the fall, and 155 that we offer in the spring. So it will also partially, if you want your site supervisor or your program director from the state, you need to take both of these classes in addition to other classes as well. So it's a 2 kind of person pair. You don't have to start with 150. You can start with 155 in the spring and then go to 150 in the fall. It's totally fine. I teach both of those along with Diane Studinka, kind of tag team when we can, who teaches those. So you don't have to take it in a particular order. They're meant to be complementary in whatever way you take them. But yeah, we're just going to talk about really fun. I think this class is a little bit more engaging than 150 because it's all about like motivation and staff and leadership, and just kind of the nitty-gritties of supervision. So these are things that you guys will be kind of learning. So you are expected to attend class. I know it's online and it's asynchronous, so we'll never really meet in person right now, but you're expected to come on Canvas every week. So if you're not doing that, and then you're not doing your weekly writing assignments, which means that you're going to be losing those points. And then also kind of builds on each other. So we start, with leadership, and then we get into theory, and then we get into specific type of leadership theory. So you're going to need to see the video lectures every single week in order to be successful. So I'm not going to tell you when to be online. That's really up to you and your schedule. And I know many of you are very busy. So if you are watching them Friday night, Saturday nights, Tuesday at midnight, it's great. Be online whenever you can get it done. You just need to be online every week to see the new video lecture, to do the new writing, to be in the new discussion board, to meet with your no zero textbook. So I will give you the readings and assignments that will be all on Canvas in your weekly modules. I have something about plagiarism. So a word for word copy without documentation, unacknowledged paraphrasing, anything like that. So if you're having issues with APA, please see me and I can help you. Usually people are not meaning to plagiarize, at least in this class. They have just either forgotten APA or it's not something that they have really done. So if you are having a hard time, like, how do I cite a quote? Like, I want to say, play is the work of a child, and I want to cite Jean Piaget. How do I do that? That's what I'm here for, and that's what the library is here for, and that's what the tutors are for. So if you don't know something, please ask, and we're here to help as well. I do have to give a little caveat on our plagiarism is that sometimes I will give you a format or a boilerplate, and that kind of means that it's the same quote for everybody. It's the same idea for everybody. And so I don't have the plagiarism check on those. So in 150, we write a employment contract, and all employment contracts in the state of California are at will. And you put this boilerplate, which is this exact same sentence in all employment contracts all over the state of California, because it's at will. And it talks about what at will is and how you would terminate somebody. So I don't have plagiarism checks because it would always pop for every single person, because every single person has put that out at will as, and that's not plagiarism in the kind of business world, because everybody has to have that it's an at will state and it's an at will kind of employment, which means that you can be terminated at any time. So in that case, if it's something where everybody is going to have the same exact words or very similar phrasing, I will take off plagiarism, because I'm expecting you to know about that business concept, like at will. Or when we're talking about termination procedures as well, that's also a time when I'll turn off the plagiarism check, because everybody's will be similar to other people's because of law, like employment law, HR law. We don't want to discriminate against people, and I'll go more into detail. I just want to tell you that there are times when I know that it's going to be very similar. And in that case, that's kind of what I'm looking for, is that you know and you understand enough about the termination that you can write that it's an at-will state. This might seem a little bit out there right now, but as we learn more about communication, supervision, hiring, and firing, which we will talk about a lot, or a bit in this class, then you're going to feel more comfortable about those concepts, and you'll know the kind of words that will be very similar in all students' assignments, and that's why I turn off discussions. So every week we either have one in person, well, most weeks. Sometimes if I don't have anything interesting to talk about, I won't put a discussion board up, but most weeks we'll have one as a large group, and most weeks we will have one within, if it's not in a large group, it'll be in a small group. Once again, not have any grades associated with it. I'm not going to make you be part of them. For your groups, that's a best practice, so you can communicate with your group online. It's okay to disagree, but I have a little information straight about discussions. And then I also have that online as well, just kind of remembering that there's a person on the other end. And so, like, being sarcastic doesn't work online unless you're using a lot of emojis, and feel free. I will take off disrespectful, inappropriate, or rude comments. That's literally never happened to me. I don't think it's going to happen, but it's really important to remember that there's a person on the other end of that name on Canvas. Social media, don't record anything of this. Don't post it online or on your social media. If Disability Services needs to have your recordings of things, then that can be arranged with me as part of your accommodations. Otherwise, I don't want to see any part of my lectures or my Canvas class up on your Facebook wall or your TikToks or your whatever, Instagrams. I just don't consent to that. This is an academic class, and it's not a kind of social media extravaganza. I don't want to go viral, basically. Disability Services, just get me your disability paperwork. This class is designed so that everybody can be successful. I try to be as universal as possible, but I'm also here for any kind of special considerations or accommodations. Just email me and we can figure those out. Once again, there's no time limits and there's no proctoria or anything like that on any of my online final or quiz, so don't worry about that. I put the tutoring center in. It's also up online for you guys, but I also wanted to put the direct links to tutoring services and the English department for writing. This class is writing heavy. So if you need extra support, tutoring and the English department right now, they're on Zoom, which is fantastic. You don't even have to leave your house. You can stay in your pajamas. So that is fantastic. Writing is an important, being able to communicate is hugely important in leadership. And part of that is written leadership. Is written communication. It's not all of it, being able to talk, to communicate, and to use nonverbal communication even, or even to have your environments kind of speak for them as well. You know, you walk into a Montessori and you're like, yeah, this is Montessori because the environment's speaking for itself, right? It's showing what kind of philosophy it has. So lots of things show your leadership and your philosophy and your ideas. And one part of that is how you write and communicate. So we are going to be writing quite a bit. I'm here to support you through it as well. So I'll give you feedback on ways that you can improve. If you kind of missed it one week, I can give you feedback and you can try to redo it as well. I remember the first time I wrote a plan of action for an employee, it was not good. And so I had to work through my leader and not sorry, we we're having a dog issue. And we adopted 2 pandemic dogs. So I had to take a moment and help my husband with a dog related issue. I think that's part of one of the great things about being able to teach and work online. It's one of the bad things sometimes as well. I was in a department meeting a couple of days ago, and they rescued a Doberman, and then my mom's German Shepherd just came to my house one day and refused to leave. So now I have a German Shepherd, and they were fighting, and they knocked over a coffee table in the middle of the department meeting. So that's one of the downsides, but one of the good things is for the last 2 years I've been home with them, so it'll be interesting to see that when I go back to teaching. And I'm only teaching in person for like 2 or 3 classes, but we'll see how they are. Important dates, you are responsible for your withdrawal from this class. So I will drop you if by census you haven't done anything in the class, and census is usually 3 weeks in. So if you haven't submitted anything, you haven't gone onto Canvas, I see no interactions on the class whatsoever, and you haven't emailed me to be like, hey, I'm having an emergency, then I'm gonna drop you because that means that you haven't been part of the class if you haven't done anything or been part of it for 3 weeks. But if you get 5 weeks in and you just can't keep up with it, it's your responsibility to withdraw or to drop or to take it incomplete in this class. I will not do that for you. That is something that you need to be able to do for yourself because I don't know your personal situation. I don't know if you can take it incomplete. I don't know if you can withdraw or even if you can drop. Those are decisions that you have to make on your own. I'm here to talk to you about your options, especially with some student support services. Anything important that happens with the campus is done by email. So if they can't cancel class because of Corona, like Omicron, there's like a stealth now, or they are going to delay classes. Right now, we're not supposed to go back in person until February 22nd. We're not supposed to be on campus. If they were to delay that further, or if they're going to talk to you about vaccines, or a lot of times they give away awesome things like computers and laptops. Like the foundation gave away like 500 laptops at the beginning of the pandemic. They give away whole turkey dinners. A lot of times our union will give away like grocery cards and things like that. And it's rough out there still because of the pandemic. So that will come through on your email, and the campus will be like, hey, Saturday mornings, you're going to have a book drive and you can have free books or, things like that. So please check your email. Either send it to your work email so you can forward Palomar student email to your work or to your personal email, and that way you'll see it. My announcements will also come through your email, and I'll send an announcement out every week welcoming you to a new week and saying happy Monday. This is what we're going to be learning about, and this is what you're going to do. Canvas is great. They have a Canvas grades kind of area. So I can only grade what you turn in. So if you don't turn in anything, you won't get a 0, but you won't get those points. So that's exactly like getting the 0. So you might have an 80% on your Canvas grades function, but what that really means is that you've only got 100% on what you've submitted. So if you've only submitted half the things, you're still getting a 50% in the class because you didn't make those points. So keep an eye on that and make sure that you're submitting things. If they're not graded within a few weeks, that means that something went wrong. Typically, it didn't load well, and I'll put a little comment on your assignment, and I'll be like, hey, this didn't load, I can't read it. Can you redo it as a PDF or a document? Or can you send it to my email? Something like that. So if I can't access it, I'll always let you know, or maybe I'd like you to redo it, or I just have feedback, something like that. So you will, whenever you kind of turn something in, let's see, we're back on Canvas, sorry. So I'm trying to get on Canvas right now. So your Canvas grades are right here. And so it's important that you check this regularly. So, oh, no, it's not gonna, sorry. So your grade function for me, sorry, I forgot. For me, it is all of the people in the class, and that's where I keep track of all of your grades. And there's no grades up, we haven't even started. But what we're going to do is you're gonna go on your grade function and it's gonna give you all of the grades. So once again, if I have a comment but no grade, that means that you need to check that assignment, and you're gonna see, oh, I submitted this, but she can't read my Adobe. So you'll either send it to my email or you'll resubmit it. I'm more than happy to work with you with technology. Sometimes Canvas doesn't work for me. I totally understand when things like don't upload or they upload unusually. So we can always find a way for you to submit it to me so I can get it. You just need to make sure, because after I send you that assignment, after I send you that little comment saying, hey, I can't see this, then it's up to you to kind of make those next steps. I typically try not to accept late work. So you have exactly 1 week. You have 7 days to do a weekly writing assignment. But I also know it's a pandemic, we have kids. So if something's going on, just shoot me an email and be like, hey, I'm really struggling with something. I'm going to be a little bit late. And I totally understand. I just got called out of my little Zoom thing because I had to deal with something with one of my dogs. So I understand that kids break their legs, people get coronavirus, the Omicron is ripping through childcare right now, and you guys are choosing to be in this class. So I'm really okay with working with you. I would like you to stay on track because I know if you get 5 weeks, 6 weeks, sometimes it's really hard to come back from that. So I'm going to push you to always stay on track and use those 7 days really wisely and use your time management. But I also understand, as long as you're kind of letting me know, I don't need to know the specifics, but hey, I'm going to be late, or hey, I was late last week, can I still submit? I'm more than happy to kind of work with you as well. And I'm more than happy to link you in with services from disability to writing, to just looking at drafts for you guys as well. You just kind of have to, once again, shoot me an email, let me know what's going on, what help and support you need from me, and how I can kind of help you as well. So that is 155. That is the class, that is the syllabus. So this week, all you're going to do is you're going to introduce yourself on the board, post a picture of anything you want that kind of represents you, let us know who you are. And then you're also going to do a big kind of thinking assignment about who you are as a person, a leader, and where you think you might be able to improve as well. So it's kind of macro view, like what is leadership? What are you interested in? What are you passionate in this field of working with children and families, and kind of where do you want to go? So that's that for that next week. This week, first week, second week, you'll have a video lecture about theories, you'll have a written assignment, and you'll have discussion board with your groups as you get new groups. So each week will look the same on 155, so that you can get on, you know what it is, you've had an announcement introducing what it's going to be like. All right, that's it for this welcome video. I'm going to go help my husband with my dogs, and I will see you online. Bye.